Now before again we move on, we're just gonna save this so we can work along. You can work along with me. So this is going to be 0.15, and at the moment what's left is the helmet. So I'm just gonna select the helmet and hide anything that's not selected. I'm just gonna take a look of it and see what's visible of it and what's not. And the way we did the other piece, we're gonna do the same thing here. So first of all, I'm gonna press Alt and X and press F4 to see it like this. Go to Edit Poly, Poly Draw, click New Object, then pick a surface and then click on this object, which is the helmet. And now just create a strip on one of the sides, if like this. So we're gonna go to polygons and delete those polygons. And now I can apply a symmetry modifier. Can go to polygon, to edit poly mode, and now select vertices and click show end result and press F4. So this way I can see only the shape itself. Now I want to see, I'll press F4 again, so I want to see the representation of the high poly cage with the isolation mode, just for the sake of what I'm doing. Or actually I'm gonna lower it to 1 subdivision level and see how it is, and turn off isolation display. So this way it will be easy for me to have some kind of guidelines how to make the shape itself. So I'm gonna select my low poly, go to vertices and start to expand the shape of this by holding Control Alt and Shift. I'm just gonna drag out those pieces. I'm just gonna try to keep it as basic as possible. It's going to be low poly after all, so I'm just gonna drag this out. I'm just gonna try to keep as much of the shape as I can. Here you can see that probably this needs a little bit of realigning in some places. It's not that kind of a hard job to do, to apologize that kind of thing. It's very quick actually. All you have to do is just follow the shape of this. Actually, I'm just going to drag to the center of it. I'm going to cap this side and drag this one and extend like this. So here I'm just going to extend one more side and just create a shape like this in this area. And probably I won't connect those two vertices to have a little bit of triangle in this area to capture a little bit this shape much more better. I'm gonna go to extend and just place those a little bit better. And we're just gonna start dragging those kind of shapes on the sides. Where's the helmet? I'm just trying to capture the outside shape of this as much as I can before I create the bottom part of this piece. And now I'm just gonna hold shift and drag one more time. And we're gonna actually create this side quickly. And since this is a kind of a border, kind of a corner of the helmet, I'm just gonna try to add a little bit more subdivisions in this area, like more polygons, to capture a little bit more of the shape of the turning side, because I want to have good silhouettes in the end. So in this section you can see how we have a kind of a triangle in there, so I can try to achieve a similar result in this area like this. And it's got quickly down on this side as well, this one, and all I have to do here is extend those a little bit outside. So the outside shape of the helmet is ready. So I can press F4 now and take a look what I have so far. And I can see that the shape is kind of okay. I can delete this side and probably make the triangle in. Actually, I can go to extend and extend on this side and target well this. And just select this and cap it. So I have the triangle in this area where this kind of edge happens. So I can just try to place this a little bit more to the center. And this one as well. And here we have a little bit more better representation of the helmets. I just try to make all the polygons in even spaces so they will capture the silhouette better. So this is kind of okay for me so far. And now there is another thing we can do. I'm gonna do it by hand. You can do it with shell modifier and then just delete the inter piece, but I want to capture the shape. And since this is a shelled piece and we're just retopologizing it, it's much more easy to retopologize it quickly. And here I did almost all the parts on this side. All I have to do is extend to this area and extend on this one as well. And do the same thing for the back here. And just try to place this a little bit properly, because you can see that those are a little bit off. So I'm just gonna fix them quickly. Just drag one more time. Here you can see we have the helmet done, or most of it. So it doesn't capture the angle perfectly, but that's kind of okay. We don't have to worry about it. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold shift and drag inside, and I'm gonna create the interior piece of the helmets, at least some part of it. We don't need the entire helmet and the inside, just what we're gonna see. So just drag like this and try to match it as much as possible with the other shapes. Or actually in this area it's not kind of okay, so I need to create a copy and bridge this one. And now I need to target well this vertex. So this way you can see that it matches the top piece as well because of the shape. It's not a normal shape, and in order to match the polygons on the outside I have to create this kind of a triangle on the bottom as well. So now I can extend this and you can see how much it will match it as well. So here I'm going to try to capture the shape. And now I can allow myself to drag those outside again in this area. And I can bridge this. So if I press F3, you can see how those are kind of like a shell, but not exactly. And now I can unhide all, just what's inside of my layer, and select all the, actually let's hide these pieces, the high poly ones, and just let's take a look of my jaw with the low poly parts on it. So I'm just gonna hide those, and now I can select these pieces and hide this, and I can apply the blue material on it. And then also some of those have smooth groups, some of them don't, so I'm just gonna apply a smooth group modifier. It's called smooth, and I'm just gonna press 1. So this way all my vertices can be smooth. So you can notice that in this area I had kind of an issue. My vertex is not weld, and I'm just gonna move it a little bit to the center. So this way it looks kind of better. So now if I take a look of the mesh, I can see what areas are going to be visible. And since the helmet is not gonna fall off from the head or anything like that, nobody won't see what's inside of it. If you want, you can cap it or create something, and probably in our case we can try to do something similar. I'm just gonna convert this to poly and select this border. I'm just gonna scale it down by holding shift and move it up. And now I'm just gonna select these edges. Actually, we can delete one of the sides since we're gonna optimize it and make it symmetrical. And now I can start to optimize the interior piece quite a lot, actually. So first of all, I'm gonna target well this one and this one. I can collapse this one. And this one as well. And I can loop this area. And actually, since those are welded, it will be difficult to loop it. I'm gonna select them by hand. I'm gonna move them very up as much as I can. And I'm gonna hold shift while I'm in scale mode, and I'm just gonna try to collapse this. And what's gonna create is this kind of a shape, which it's not the best representation of a form we have, but oh well, it will do. So I can move this up and lower it by X, so it will match the center of this. So now if I apply symmetry to it, we'll have some kind of interior piece for the helmet. This is in a case that you want to take the helmet of the character off, and if you're not gonna do it, you might not need it, but in our case I'm just gonna leave it like this. So if you want, we can take the helmet off or something like that. I'm just gonna convert it to poly and apply a smooth group to it. So entirely it will be smooth and it will not cause any issues when we start to bake this thing. So I'm just gonna exit saturation mode and I'm gonna leave it like this. And in our next chapter we're gonna move on and start to group those things and start to prepare some UVs for it.